Yes, you read the title right. We are adding weed. No exaggeration, no hyperbole. You will be able to grow your own hemp farms and utilize your harvest as you please, with a ton of individual uses. What separates our mods from all the other weed mods on the endless curseforge pile is the fact that despite that, it's weed, we try to abide by the principles of vanilla Minecraft and equip each feature with a use that benefits the player in some way, while not diminishing other features already in Minecraft. So, let's get into it.
Like and subscribe, please!
So, weed. How do you get weed? Well, in real life, despite it being grown all over the world by almost every culture, seriously, it is crazy that every single pagan culture around the world had cannabis with them. It was more abundant than bread. Since the plant in real life has grown in a hot and humid atmosphere, we thought of putting it inside of sparse jungles. Jungles would be too humid and too cramped for these to grow. These wild hemp appear in clusters and drop hemps. Hemps can then be crafted into seeds and planted as regular crops. Alternatively, if you can't find sparse jungles anywhere, Wandering Trader might sell you a seed or two if you ask him nicely. Once your wheat farm grows up, what can you do with it? Well, you need to dry it first into these weed buds, obviously. But then, if you combine it with paper, you already know what this is, I don't need to say it, you get the joint. The joint can be smoked up to 3 times. Upon smoking one, you'll notice the peace effect you and the mobs around you get. This allows you to chill and hang around with mobs you would not be able to hang around otherwise. By chill, I mean they won't attack you, and you can't attack them, of course. Mostly monsters are if you're concerned, though be aware it has a time limit, and if you want to remain chill with these mobs, you might need to smoke continuously. What is going on with my hair? What is that? That is the reefer. It's sort of a physical manifestation of smoking too much weed. Maybe it is a predator that can smell weakness in you. It will try to hunt you down and explode. It doesn't destroy blocks when exploding, but rather leaves this smoke cloud. If they are killed by a skeleton, you get a brand new music disc by Firge called Jam. Take a listen. For those who are not fans of filling their lungs with weed fumes to get high, there are also these weed brownies, crafted with cocoa beans, hemp seeds, and wheat. These only give peace effect to you, and not to the mobs around you. Before we get to the more complicated ways of getting high with this particular plant, I thought it would be good to go over some of the other uses it has. You can use it in a lead recipe, making it easier to get leads without, trying to find some slime balls somewhere. Hemp can also be used in making a leather substitute. This might change a little bit in the near future. You can also use it to craft modded robes. This one is from Supplementaries. I love robbing flags of uses, one of my favorite activities. Now, let's get into the part you've all been waiting for. The herbal salves. These salves are crafted with a bowl, 3 weed buds, and 3 items of one type of flower. Why am I saying one kind of flower and not any flour? Well, it's because the resulting effect is heavily dependent on what kind of flour you use. Did you know you can spike a soup by adding any flour? Doing this will get you a soup that has a weak effect of some kind, showing that you can achieve these effects without having to brew ice. While weed helps you bring out and strengthen the power within these flowers. If you apply the herbal salve to any entity by right-click, you can give it a concentrated dose. For example, blue orchid and dandelion fully fills up your hunger. Azure fluid blinds the recipient for 24 seconds. Torch flower gives them night vision for 15 seconds. Oxeye daisy gives 24 seconds of regeneration. And the most powerful one, in my opinion, the Wither Rose, gives you option to give your enemies the Wither effect for 24 whole seconds. Which, if you don't know, the difference between the Wither effect and poison is the fact that you can give it to undead mobs, you can give it to anyone, and it will kill them. It will not stop at half a heart. One of the more controversial things that this allows for is that you can use it instead of Potion of Weakness, which means you can cure zombie villagers into villagers without having to make the potion. If you take these weed buds and brew them into regular water bottles, you get the bong. Bong is, I guess, a new type of potion? Would you call them potions? The regular bong gives off the peace effect and functions the exact same way as joint, even borrowing the fact that it can be used multiple times. When you brew it with the netherwort, you get the awkward bong. This then can be brewed like potions normally. Or you can just brew the weed bud into already pre-made potions. That's up to you. Bong of swiftness, bong of healing, bong of strength, thick bong, and many more. Also bong of brain damage because of core. These have all the qualities previously mentioned. They can be used up to 4 times and transmit effects to nearby mobs. If you're willing to bear it, it's possible to put the poison on all nearby mobs as a defense mechanism. Now we've gone through almost everything, except of course the pipes. Rewatching Lord of the Rings landed me on this beautiful scene, and I thought to myself, wouldn't it be cool as fuck if there was a way to make smoke rings in Minecraft? And after a bit of craft and brainstorming with Yape on our server, we came up with these. Pipes are not craftable and can only be rarely found in Woodland Mansions. We might eventually put them into their own structure, but for now, Woodland Mansion seems like a fitting home for them. Once you get your hands on an empty pipe, you can stuff it with weed to get 6 puffs worth of smoke. Weed of course only gives you the peace effect, unlike the joint or bong. This one only gives the effect to you and not the mobs around you. But as you may have noticed with the recipe, the amount of puffs it gives is much more cost efficient. These aren't everything you can stuff into it, however. Once again, you can choose to fill up with herbs and flowers instead, which give you the same kind of effect you'd get from herbal salves, only now you can actually experience them yourself. 24 seconds of regeneration in the middle of battle is quite good, I'd say, just for few flowers. You may have noticed that every time you take a puff, a smoke ring comes out, which I think is wonderful. Now that we've gone over the main stuff, there's a couple of other things this mod adds, like this painting by Yape. This is not a horn, or the original points out the fact that no, this is not a pipe, it's a painting. What do you mean? If you combine gunpowder and weed, you can get the block version of a reefer. This is the THC. This TNT variant doesn't destroy blocks, but covers the whole area in a giant smoke cloud, as well as afflicting entities with the peace effect. This bomb can be also put in the minecart. When you put hay blocks under a campfire, it makes the smoke more powerful in an upward direction. However, when you put the weed or hemp crate there, it makes it just kinda smoky all around, close to the ground, which is great for creating atmosphere in certain places. Thank you so much for watching our showcase. It was a bumpy road to get this mod going, and I have to give a massive thanks to Nake, who coded this whole thing, and Yape, who has done all the textures, the initial concept, and brainstormed all the things in here. This mod is actually not available yet. First of all, we don't even know if ChrisForge or Modrent will accept the mod. Heck, I don't even know if I'll be able to monetize this video. So for now, it remains on our Patreon. If you wanna play around with it and test it out, go get it there. I do think though that ChrisForge will accept it, because look at all of these I can just find there. So it'll probably release in a month or so, maybe sooner. And when it does, I'll make sure to make a video telling you all. Bye!